Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of IBL on Deck, sponsored by Rawlings. Great to be with you again. My name is Jackson Farough, and I apologize for missing out on last week's show. Had a bit of a scheduling mishap, but we're back on road now. Also, happy St. Patrick's Day. So, hope you're feeling Irish. Is that the term? Hope maybe you're having a Guinness or two, or maybe a pond water lager, perhaps. We'll get to that in a little bit. Our guest today is the owner and team president of the Welland Jackfish, Ryan Harrison. Really excited to chat with him as we inch closer and closer to the IBL season. Of course, right around the corner, still slated for that early June start. And, we're getting closer and closer as the days tick by. So without further ado, let's bring him in. As mentioned, he is the owner and team president of the Welland Jackfish. There he is, Ryan Harrison. First off, Ryan, welcome to IBL on Deck. I heard you're a pretty big fan of the show.
Yes, very, very big fan of the show. I might just, as far as I can say, maybe I have something to do with the show, so to speak. But yes, very big fan of IBL on Deck. I think it's a great vehicle for us to showcase our league and do some things that maybe we haven't done before.
Absolutely. Whatever you do on the show will stay a mystery for now. So I want to ask you a little bit, just the standard COVID question. As a owner and team president, you probably didn't own a baseball team 100 years ago during the last pandemic. So having gone through this experience now, what have you learned from this pandemic as a team owner, and what were some of your biggest challenges?
You know what? It's something you can't control. So, stressing about it or losing sleep about it is, although that did happen, it's something that you should probably get rid of, because there's nothing you can do about it. You got to kind of roll with the punches and move along as you should. For us, this past summer when we lost the season, we kind of just pivoted and decided to do a bunch of events. So we did 4 events during the summer at the park. Cornhole tournament, which you don't know what cornhole is. It's that beanbag game with a hole in the board, which is very popular in the United States. We're bringing it up here. We did yoga in the field. We did a home run derby. We did a kids camp. All very successful. No issues there with any COVID protocols or anything like that. So the big thing for me is I own a small business. It's a baseball business, but it doesn't necessarily have to only be baseball. So we're in the entertainment business, and we really pivoted to be something else for our fans during that time. Yeah,
absolutely. And you made some significant upgrades. Obviously, you used the time, I guess, well spent to Welland Stadium since the last time Jackfish fans, got to be there for a game. So can you fill us in on some of the details on the upgrades to the stadium?
Yeah. So, a lot of it was very much just, paint and trim and things like that. So we upgraded the entire concourse. We painted all of our colors. There's logos throughout the concourse now. Welland Jackfish logos, obviously. We did, upgrades to the field. We put a new system into the dugout fencing. The city of Welland actually got installed a brand new infield for the field. So there's been a collaboration between us and the city that's allowed us to kind of just bring it up to more modern times. There's nothing wrong with the field whatsoever. The day I walked in 2018, I'll never forget this kind of story where the manager of the field said, welcome to our old park. And I walked in, I said, there's nothing old about this place. This place is pristine. There's nothing wrong with it. There's some age, of course, it's 30 years old. But besides that, for the IBL, it's a perfect location. Other than that, we have some plans on replacing the scoreboard, adding some new VIP decks for corporate and groups, and really just making a really fan-friendly atmosphere for anybody that comes in the park.
Absolutely. And I'm sure Welland fans would be really, glad to hear that. It says a lot about the team that they're willing so much to invest even more in the stadium, even though, as you said, it was already in pretty good shape. So the beer, let's just, since it's St. Patrick's Day, take us through the process of creating the now official beer of the Jackfish, Palm Water Lager, as part of your huge partnership with Newark Brewing Company. How did the idea kind of come about? Can you tell us a little more about sort of the can, the taste of the beer, just the whole process of that?
For sure. We actually originally wanted to do a Jackfish soda. There's a company out of Niagara that does soda, and we actually reached out to them, and we wanted to do that. Unfortunately, that didn't take off. But Newark Brewery, which is brand new, they're a contract brewery out of Niagara. They're actually looking to open up a shop down here. They reached out to us and said, would you guys be interested in doing your own brand? And of course we are. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I've always wanted to do it. I didn't know that it was going to come up as quick as it did. You think of your brand new team. For the most part, we're a brand new team, and you think that'd be like year 3, year 5 type thing. And they approached us, and we decided to do it. And we did a name the beer contest, which was awesome. Got a lot of entries, some a little bit different, but we came out with Pond Water Lager, which for some fans might think pond water, why would I want to drink that? But if you've been to our stadium and our atmosphere and our nickname for our park is the Pond, it kind of goes hand in hand with our kind of our whole theme of our team. So that's why we decided to go with that. Really well received. We've sold quite a bit of it. We have a bar that's on board that sells it for us right now, and hopefully by June 3rd we can start selling it to fans. But I'll tell you right now, and not only because it's our beer, but it is a nice crisp taste. It's really easy going down, and I think when fans come in and start tasting it, it'll be much like London, because I've talked to the owners there. Their beer there is one of their hot sellers, and I think that'll be the same for us.
Well, and you know what college kids like? They like baseball and beer. So you're certainly in the right market there. I want to talk about these Happy Gilmore uniforms. So fill us in on kind of how all that came about. A little more detail maybe about the promotional night. I imagine it's going to be part of a bigger deal. You're going to have more stuff going on at the park. And can we expect Adam Sandler to throw the first pitch?
I can't, I'll start off. I don't think Adam's going to make his way up here.
Not this year.
Unfortunately, we're going to try to figure some stuff out. But like I said before, our main thing is entertainment, number one. Baseball's secondary to us. Now, I will, before I say that, because my baseball operations guys get mad at me, we put out a really, really good team. So baseball is very important, obviously. You got to have a good team. But entertainment's number one. So, our 2019 season, we did Major League Night. So we had a Joe Boo doll, we had Major League jerseys, different things like that. We actually gave out, I think it was 1,000 pairs of Ricky Vaughn skull glasses as a giveaway. So things like that. So we decided, actually 2020, we were going to do a Braveheart night, because I think it was the 20th anniversary of the movie. We were all going to wear kilts and have face paint, and then we're going to do Braveheart jerseys. So this year we said, what can we do? And one of my favorite movies of all time is Happy Gilmore. So I said, we got to do that one. And I think it's the 25th anniversary. If I get, I don't know if I'm wrong or not on that one. But so we decided to develop that. We plan on having staff dressed up as different characters. So one person will be Bob Barker, one person will be Adam Sandler, things like that. So we're really just trying to have fun with it. And I think for the longevity of our team, we're going to do things like this every season, if not once, at least twice. So actually, for our fans that are watching and everything IBL, we're going to have a big announcement coming out on the 22nd, so Monday, at 5 o'clock on our Facebook page. So keep your eyes out for that one.
For sure. I'm sure they will. And of course, fans, if you are watching, be sure to drop a question in the chat if you have one here. So, considering all that, you talk a lot about the entertainment, the marketing side of the game. Of course, baseball is very important as well. But what do you think just is the most exciting part about attending a Jackfish game? Let's say maybe besides the actual baseball.
Honestly, like I said before, it's the show we put on. I run through the crowd and throw T-shirts and do a bunch of crazy things. I'm really hands-on. So I really make sure that when people come, and I don't care if they like baseball or watch 1 inning or watch 4 innings or the whole game, it's that they have a smile on their face and they're having a good time, because I want them to tell their friends and then them tell their other friends and things like that and come back in droves. Because we do put on a good show, and it's a lot of fun. It's community fun, and it's cheap, and it's a good time. And that's what we're trying to push onto other members of our league is, the baseball is great. Don't get me wrong. It's very entertaining, brand of baseball. And there's a lot of skilled players, but, entertainment's number one. We're going up against movie theaters, going up against, barbecuing in your backyard, reading a good book. So you really want to, get the word out there that it's the place to be on a Thursday and Saturday afternoon.
Absolutely. Well, if you're in the Niagara region, be sure to check it out this summer when the IBL does kick off. So it's clear that you and the Jackfish have a lot of motivation to kind of grow the game at the grassroots level, right, in the Niagara region. That's evidenced by the partnership you made with St. Catharines Minor Baseball. So tell us a little bit more about that partnership and what your intentions are there and where you see it going.
Yeah, so our big thing was, and we weren't going to really get into it real in depth until probably year 3. We started preliminary with the Welland Mustangs, the youth program here in Welland, and we really drove that up. But now we're starting to reach out to Niagara Falls, Thorold, Grimsby, just Niagara region, just to try to get. It's not even so much about getting the fans out to our games. I mean, that's a big part. Don't get me wrong. But another thing is really developing baseball players in the region, because that not only will help the participation level in the region, but it'll also help our team in the end. Guys, grow up playing in minor baseball in Niagara. They go play for our junior team. They play for our IBL team, potentially. And that's what we kind of hope that happens, is that we develop those kids to stay around this area.
Right. So the idea is sort of, to have them start out and then become Jackfish fans and sort of have a passion and a desire to maybe play for the Jackfish one day when they're old enough and good enough to do so. It's really unique. And I think that's very commendable. I don't like it. That's an extra step, right? That I think a lot of maybe owners in baseball and just really sports teams maybe wouldn't take. So major kudos to you for that, Ryan. I want to get to the roster a little bit here. Some of the additions the Jackfish have made. I want to ask you about Alberto Calaspo. Over
Yes.
3,500. I mean, you kind of knew I was going to ask you about it. Over 3,500 big league ABs, 10 seasons at the big league level. How did that recruiting process unfold?
Well, it's actually funny. I was actually never a part of our GM. Jason McKay was, and basically, what happened is his agent actually reached out to us and said, "Hey, listen, he's looking for a place to play. Would you be interested?" And I mean, when a guy that has 10 years of MLB experience his agent reaches out, you don't say no. So obviously we got to talking, understanding what he's looking for and what we're looking for. And, a guy that spent 10 years in the major leagues, it's not about coming in here and making, money or things. It's for the love of playing baseball. And I think that's what it is. And we wanted to bring him in also because, that kind of experience with our younger guys or guys that are trying to maybe move up is insurmountable. I mean, it's unbelievable what he can teach guys, at the plate, on a professional level and things like that. So that's kind of how it developed. And we're super excited. I think our fans are going to love him. We've talked to him, and I think it's really going to take off for us.
Well, and obviously that's a baseball decision totally on the field, but I'd imagine, from a marketing perspective, from an entertainment perspective, that's a pretty big sell too, isn't it? To be able to say we get a former major leaguer playing on the diamond here.
Yeah. I mean, when we announced it, it was really big. People were super excited, and people still talk about that signing, even now when I talk to fans and things like that are buying tickets. So it's really exciting. It's a big name to put on a poster and put on the radio. So hopefully we can get to a 2021 season with Alberto on the roster and our different imports, and really put on a great show on the field.
You speak of the radio briefly. Radio partnership with News Talk 610 was announced recently in early March. Just tell us a little more about that, what fans can expect to hear, who they can expect to hear on the mic, and maybe share a little bit of kind of how that's all going to play out.
Yeah, so they're going to do at least 18 games, home and road. Elliot Price is going to be our play-by-play announcer, who, if you don't know who that is, he was actually color commentator and actually play-by-play for the Montreal Expos. He has been in Major League Baseball for years. So he's going to be a great name. I've sat with him, and he's amazing voice, very well knowledge, obviously on baseball. How can he not be? So we're really excited about that, and I think it's really going to allow us to get our name out there in the region. So we're super excited about that portion. We're actually also working with CoachCo TV to get our games broadcast live on CoachCo, select number of games. And of course, our live stream that we're going to be doing, which we're going to upgrade for this season. So there's going to be 3 camera angles and the full component for that. So it should be very good.
Well, and you know what? The broadcast is very important. We're seeing that right now with Blue Jay spring training. When you don't have one, it's tough to drum up a ton of interest. Of course, a big league team will get that anyways, but in the IBL, a broadcast is amazing. And I'd imagine that Elliot Price would have some pretty cool stories as well. Elsewhere, out of some of the other signings your team has made, some of the other additions, who else are you excited about? Or maybe not even some of the new additions, but who else on this team do you think can really take a step this year and also, be a big face that you can market?
Well, you know what? A guy that we just signed actually played for Kitchener last year is Arleigh Cena. And not only is he an amazing human being, but he is a great baseball player. And I think the fans are really going to cater to him. And I shouldn't say we're going to use him. We're going to ask him to be somewhat of the face of the Welland Jackfish for the next number of years, because he's local now. He's going to be here for the long haul. And we're expecting great things out of him for the upcoming season. It's great to have high caliber Canadians on your roster. I think that's very, very important. I mean, imports are you get 4 and there's a lot out there, so to speak. But the really, really high performing Canadians are very important in this league, and we're really excited to have him be the face and really take our team to a new level in the community.
Well, absolutely. You touched on it briefly, just face of the franchise. What exactly does that entail in an IBL setting, like in terms of community outreach, in terms of, being on all the billboards, in terms of, amount of time, the lineup, the whole deal? Just kind of give us a rundown of what exactly that could look like.
Yeah, you see it in London, right? Cleveland Brownlee, for the last number of years, has been the face of the team. And I think he's done a really, really good job of reaching out to the community and stuff like that. So to have somebody like that with our team now, I think is going to be really important, and really be able to reach, like I said, Arleigh Cena is a cop in Niagara region. So who's better to be able to connect with the community and drive that community feel?
Absolutely. It's a really good point you make there. I didn't even know that. That's cool. A lot of IBL guys, they just have regular day jobs, and certainly see them in the community. And I guess that is one way to be the face for sure. So you look around the IBL. Last question for you. How do you kind of handicap your team's chances, the Jackfish's chances this year to make a deep playoff run? You look around the league, you look at Barrie, London, whoever it is. How do you handicap your chances?
It's tough to say. Unfortunately, we don't know about imports this year. So when it boils down to it, never mind even that. I think we have a really good chance. Our imports are really good. Euclides Lara's back. Wilson Serrano will be back. So they're mainstays in our import unit. But we have a really heavy component of really good Canadians. We brought a bunch of guys in from out west, a couple of guys in from out east. And that's what we have to do, is bring them in and have them live in town, because the name of the game in our league is who you have on the field any given night, because some teams could change from night to night. And our team, if it's a Thursday or a Saturday or a Sunday, it'll be the same team night in and night out. And I think that's where we're going to benefit a lot from some of our other opponents.
Right. So fans can really kind of, get to know these players as well. And then from the player perspective, they can develop a lot of consistency and likely improve over the course of the year as well. Thank you so much for doing this today, Ryan. We really appreciate it, and good luck this season, and we'll see you around Welland.
Thank you, Jackson. I really appreciate it.
All right. Take care. Before we go, briefly just want to touch on the fact that, it's been, let's see, a little over a year now since the pandemic really started, lockdown really started, and it's been a tough time for a lot of people. I think it's taken a toll on people's mental health. It certainly has for me, and I don't have 3 kids and a mortgage, right? So I can't imagine what some of the pressures other people are dealing with. Look, if you are suffering, or if you or a friend or a loved one is suffering, please reach out, seek help. We have a couple different ways you can do so here. This link, oktotalk.org. We also have the lifelinecanada.ca, as well as Kids Help Phone. You can text 686868. as well as call 1-800-668-6868. We also understand that sometimes these hotlines aren't always, you might not want to call a hotline, but if you are suffering, if you feel that there's an emergency on hand, please use one of these hotlines or reach out to somebody. The vaccinations are picking up here. We're on our way to put a Major League Baseball spin on it. Maybe depending on where you live and how old you are, we're in mid to late August baseball. You've come this far, and keep on pushing. We're almost there. And look, if you don't have anyone else to reach out to, you can reach out to me. You can look me up on Twitter, Jackson Farough. My email is jfarough, Farough, @outlook.com. If no one else is there for you, I promise I will be there for you. Bet Let's Talk Day was a month and a half ago. Frankly, we need to talk about it every day. We don't need a company to tell us when to talk about mental health. So for the IBL on Deck, sponsored by Rawlings, for Ryan Harrison, the Welland Jackfish, my name is Jackson Farough. Thank you for joining us, and stay strong, people. Good night.